When?
Why does it say last meal 5:10?
Last meal 5:10. Now you really stumped me. When did it say that and why did it say that? Where did it say that? Are you talking about?
So I used this app to tell me like what time Shabbat starts and all the candle lighting things, and it's this app.
Yeah.
And it tells you like last
Whoa.
10, but I don't know what that's about.
Let's say this. I like to see this app. I can't even see the app. This is an app?
Yeah.
All right, Mincha. Well, obviously, it's complicated. Wow, this is kind of like a mystical thing here. But I don't see anything about the meal.
Oh, we passed it for today because we're already past 5:10.
All right, I'll give you.
Next week it says same thing.
I'll say this. This is, I don't know what that app is. That's a pretty sophisticated
This
app.
is the one that the rabbi at the modern Orthodox school uses.
All right, where?
I don't know if it's Orthodox.
Being the guy down the street?
At the Northwest Yeshiva on Mercer Island.
Oh, North of the Shiva. So that's a good app, a complicated app. So here's my take on it. You should be hungry for your Shabbat meal, so you shouldn't eat too late on Friday afternoon because then you won't be hungry and enjoy the Shabbat meal. That's the concept. I don't. Now, where that's found and why that's found is a totally different question. But you know what I'm saying? I'm glad. Good app. Shalom, friends. I hope everybody's really happy today to be celebrating Shabbat. We don't have that many people here, which is great because we can get to know each other a little bit. So before we begin, thanks Irene back there. Oh, look who's coming in here. Oh my goodness. So great. Jill, great to see everybody. Oh, the gathering of people from here and near and far. All right. Let's all take a deep breath. Let's get into the Shabbat world. The Shabbat world. Great to see people that I've known for years and some people I've just met today. For those who may not know, well, first of all, this is Temple B'nai Torah. I hope you came to the right place. We're one of many synagogues in the greater Seattle area. So all of them are celebrating Shabbat in different ways, as they do each week. So if somehow you found yourself here, we're happy about that. Now, we're also going to make sure that everyone has a wonderful time. I'm Rabbi Jim Morrell, Rabbi Emeritus. Been part of this temple since 1985. Yeah, and my wife Julie.
The last millennium.
This is very appropriate because we're going to do a song from Fiddler on the Roof, and Julie's kind of like golden. She always has to have the last word. Remember that great Fiddler on the Roof?
No.
We like it. Do you ever remember? The reason why we're doing this song for Fiddler on the Roof is because during the last few days, last week or so, the last of the creators of Fiddler on the Roof passed away, Sheldon Harnick. He was the one, give him a lot of credit, who wrote all the lyrics for all the songs. And the guy was a genius, a real genius. He was able to capture in this very simple but profound way the meaning of these stories of the Fiddler on the Roof, Tevye, his family, and make it accessible to everyone so that it was a universal musical that was enjoyed by not thousands of people, but millions of people over the years. If you remember the song Sabbath Prayer, this is like he captured what the feeling is of being at the Shabbat table. We're talking about the Shabbat table with your family or friends. And in this case of the story, it's Tevya and Golda, their daughters, 5 daughters, their future son-in-law, and they're all at the table. And traditionally, the father, which was part of the deal of Svidler, would give a blessing, does give a blessing, using traditional words, Hebrew words, for sons and different ones for the daughters. So he was able to find the way to capture the spirit of the Shabbat table blessing. And of course, it's for the daughters. We changed the words a little bit to make it a little more universal for all of us. So, if you know it, join in. If you want to take out your phone and look at the words, you can. I don't really care. Sabbath prayer. I will. I will.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long lives. May God keep you and shield you from strife, and in his wisdom always care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. Favor us, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer.
That's great. Love that. Thank you, Julie. All right, that was a little presentational moment. And we'll talk a little bit about Fiddler on the Roof a little bit later on in my remarks, and a few other things too. Is everybody finding a good spot? Good. Let's all sing together. We might have some people also coming in from remote areas. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat. good way to begin. How about if we turn to the prayer on page number 2 in the Siddur? I'm going to ask Julie, and I'll ask also Tiffany to come up, to stand with Julie, and to do it together. Good to do it as a teamwork. Tiffany, why don't you read the prayer on page number 3 before we begin?
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Let Tiffany light the candle, Joe. Let her light one of us. Sure. Let's all join together. Amen. We love that. Julie, stay up there for a second. Who's that wonderful young person over here? Who is that? You want to come up here with us? Come on up. We're going to let you hold the Kiddush cup. We'll do the Kiddush while he's still awake. All right. Page number 5. All right. There you go. Let's do the Kiddush together. What's this fine young person's name? Beautiful. Let's all join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Kiddush Shalom b'mitzvot. V'shabbat kodsho. Hindilan. Zigaro. Maaseh. Kiruyon. Zechilon. Lemikra ekovim. Zecher Litziat Mizraim Kivanu Harta Yotanu Vidas Mikol Habib V'Shabbat Kodecha V'Ahava in Haltanu Baruch Mekadei HaShabbat. Amen. Take a sip of the Chaim. All right. Doing great. Let me ask Irene a question. If someone came to read from that microphone there, are you able to get them? You can see them? All right. So when you come up to read, come to this microphone. Julie, turn the mic a little bit so that when they come up to read, they'll be up there. So you don't have to shut up all the way up here. But you do have to come to a microphone to read, because they have to hear you over there. Hey there. Who's going to read? Who's going to come up here? We will do it by raising hands. Who's going to read on page number 8? Come on up here and read it First one to raise hands, come up. Page 8. All right, did you say? Sandra coming up, then Molly will come next time. All right, now the point is, go over there, read into the microphone, and we'll just listen to you read so beautifully. Page number 8. Page 8, sure.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. 8. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Hey, beautiful. I love that. Hi, Molly, you're the next volunteer. Come and read page number 9 if you want to. I hope you do.
The top or bottom?
Do both. What the heck? You have things in there.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we speak not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Beautiful. This is so great. Great to hear people. How about someone coming up now to this great microphone and to read the psalm, or the translation of the psalm, on page 14. Do we have a brave volunteer to come up on page 14? It's a beautiful psalm. I can wait. I'm very patient. Now let's all read it together, and then maybe someone will be brave next time. On page 14. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the people are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God, strength and splendor in God's temple. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly, and his peoples in faithfulness. All right, let's see how we're doing now. I think we're doing pretty well. We're going to do something a little bit unusual. We'll do L'chadodi, of course. That's not unusual. On page number 20. We'll just do verse 1 and 9. Get to verse 9. We'll stand up. And then remain standing from that point on. Go right to the Baruch Hu on page 28. And then remain standing and go right to the Shema, which is, of course, on the page number 34. So that's what we're going to do. I like to hear everyone sing along, because that's going to make it really beautiful. And I love the idea of all being together. We welcome the Shabbat bride into our midst. L'chadodi, page 20 and 21, verse 1 and verse 9. L'chadodi. Shabbat nekabela. Shahamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemu l'tfiret v'l'tila. L'echad dodi. L'echad dodi l'grat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'echad dodi l'grat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela. As able, rise, face the door. Imagine the bride coming into our midst. Bo'i v'shalom ateret ba'ala. Gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala. Tok emunei am segula. Bo'i kala, bo'i kala. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi legrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi legrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Now remain standing if you are able to do so, if you wish to do so, and turn to the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer, as I say on page 28, going right into the Shema. Lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, dai, dai, yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, yai, dai, 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 dai. Adonai ha'mevorach le'olam le'olam va. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom praise is due. Now and forever. We turn to the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Let's be seated now. I'm going to invite some more volunteers to come up, so be ready if you want to. But before we do that, let us all continue the Shema on page 36 by chanting the continuation, V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'elem asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha v'adera uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam liot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, ukatavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha, laman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hoseiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Now, if someone found the courage to come up and volunteer to read on page 37. All right, Mr. Mitchell, you might have to raise that microphone up a little bit. Thank you, sir, if you want to. You don't have to. You just speak really nice and loud. You're doing great.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They're reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you. How about someone brave enough to read in the middle of page 39, leading into the Michamocha? All right, Scott. I don't know everybody's name, but if I know your name, I'll say your name. If I don't say your name, that means I don't know your name. Scott.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai. There is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
I love that. So if you turn to page 40, we'll sing like we sing on the shores of the sea. Let's sing together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'chodesh, nora tehilot ol sefele, nora tehilot ol sefele. I love that. Good rhythm. Let's have someone who wants to read a short passage come up and read on page 41. If someone wants to do that. All right, go ahead, Johanna. Dad is a good person.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Nice reading. All right. Let's see. We're doing pretty well now. We're getting kind of in a roll because people are coming up. So let's keep going. How about in the middle of page 43? Come on up to read that. We'll all read the Hebrew together, so don't be too intimidated by that. Page 43. Anybody want to come up? 1, 2, 3. Well, let's read in the middle of page 43 together. Want to do that? You want to do it? Go ahead. Don't be shy. Elizabeth, page 43.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Together. Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Beautiful. All right, we're ready to sing again? All right, thanks for moving the candle. That's good. Nobody can burn. That's good. I like that. V'shameru. We're just going to do the chorus on page 44. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-shabbat lasod et ha-shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-shabbat lasod et ha-shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Before we go into the tefillah, take a little bit of a break. You see, we have a little bit of a problem here. Not a big problem, but maybe Irene's going to solve the problem. Do we have a handheld microphone? We don't have a handheld microphone, do we? All right, we can't pass it around. So the people who are out there in the land of the internet may not hear you, but we can hear you. So stay right where you are and raise your hand if you want to share something that's in your heart today. It might be something that's joyous, might be something a little bit sad, might be something unusual, but we'd like to hear what you have to say. Miss, go ahead, sir.
Definitely a joyous occasion. Yesterday was our 43rd wedding anniversary.
Wow, that is a mazel tov. We can say mazel tov for that, right? That's so great. I'm glad you shared that. That just lifted us all up. Thank you, Roger. All right, who else is going to share? And again, doesn't have to be 44 years of marriage, just anything. Something that happened today, or yesterday, or a year ago. Go ahead.
It's so great to see somebody that I haven't seen in years, one of our former convents. It's so good to see you. Thank you.
Helen.
I'll add it, today is my birthday.
Wow, another mazel tov. We're not going to ask you the number, but...
We don't have to say it. It's somewhere between 60 and 100.
All right. Helen, we go way back with Helen. And thank Lenora for bringing Helen. That's very sweet of you. All right, who else is going to be sharing today? Go ahead.
Today is the first time that I tried university with operation last week from Argentina, and I have a little helper here that's coming to feed them. And he's just a
That is so great. Well, this guy's a helper. He's a big helper. And that's a good thing to be. We're really happy for you. Shabbat shalom. All right. Anybody else want to share? Go ahead, my friend. Yeah.
Well, our 21-month-old grandson spent the afternoon with us today without either of his parents with us.
Oh, my goodness. And he didn't cry and you didn't cry, right? Good. Well, that's the most important. But if they do, that's fine, because kids cry, and grown-ups cry too. Hey there, Irene.
I was with my granddaughter this week when she said her first word.
A word.
And the word was dog.
Dog is good. I mean, that's good. It could have been grandma, but dog is all right. We're happy about that. Yes?
I'm so grateful for friends that still keep in touch with you since they lived here for 25 years and now they moved to to Dallas, Texas, and they came up for a cruise, and they called me, and we had a nice happy hour together. I'm grateful that they reached out.
Well, that's great. You know, friendship is important, but when they're in town, they should definitely do that. That's a great thing. Good story. Go ahead. Well, we're happy to be here once in a while. Yes?
I got a promotion this week for official now, so I got promoted.
Promoted. That's a great thing. We love that. That is a milestone in life. Moving up in the world. Moving on up. That's great. Well, we're happy. Yes, go ahead. I know you have a mitzvah coming up, a big simcha. And how many grandkids do you have now? 4 grandkids. Well, and visiting grandkids are really important. That's good. I was saying to Ross, you know, he said, we're not going to have any kids at our wedding except for your grandkids. I said, that's good. And I have all the grandkids there. All right, very nice. We're very happy to see some nice sharing. And, you know, for those of you who are relatively new to our community, Temple B'nai Torah, always welcome. You don't have to be a member. You can come anytime, always open for everybody anytime. We're going to do a brief version of the tefillah on page 46, 48, 50, and 52. And then we're going to do a quiet time of the tefillah. Rise if you're able to do so. And we can go right along here. 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Next page. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol v'Zocher Hasei Avot v'Imahot Umevigula Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Next page. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav V'Hoshia Morid Hatal Mechalchel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somek Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umasmiach Yeshua V'nemanata L'Hachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. Turn the page. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'Kol Yom Yahalucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Let's continue silently. Remain standing or sit whenever you want to. Next few minutes, do the silent tefillah. Keep standing if you want, sit if you want. Let's finish with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Let's all turn, if we are able, to 253. 253, our prayer of healing. Misha Barak, we do this each time we gather for many, many years. And we want to honor the people who are in need of healing. We'll do the memory later. I'm trying to think of where our little thing is. We'll find it. Anyhow, let's go around the congregation and see if someone has some. I got it here. Yeah, I got it right over here. But who wants to say a name? These are people who are in need of healing in your life. Go around the room, say a name. If you want to say your relationship to the person, go ahead. Anyone else? Come on. Thank you. People in need of healing. We need that. Here are the people we have on our Misha Barak list. Azriel Early, Rohan Early, Orly Sarsman, Amy Thornton, Laura Armstrong, Stacey Hetzel, Dan Turner, Jacqueline Tara Smith, Deborah Rose, Eileen Kreisman, Ronnie Haber, Carlene Ackerman, Vadim Barzam, Jill Forleo, Ellen Gottlieb, Marlene Brock, Vanessa Bianco, John Lang, Jake Sani, Paul McCready, Janelle Cohn, Glenn Letts, Jesse Early, Andrea Gurovich, Joni Michaels, Heidi Nyman, Carl Wilhite, Trudy Hendrickson, Barb Carmichael, Ginny Gaston, Lanny Monson, David Seligman, and Cindy Balin. These are all people, and I'm sure the others that you've said silently. If you're on page number 253, I'm going to sing the prayer for healing Misha Barak. Bless those in need. thank you. Close our prayer books just for a few moments now. Not a long time, no long sermon tonight. Just a little reflective. Hi, how are you doing? Come on in. You know, if you've been listening to the news over the last many weeks, but particularly this last week, the ADL came out with the statistic that the anti-Semitic incidents have risen exponentially, 30% over the last year. And it's a real pain for us as Jews to think that here in America, our home, that this is not just an ongoing problem, but a increasing problem for us. And it's very, very difficult to know how to respond. In terms of the congregation, I don't know how long it's been, but many of us remember when our dear friend Pam Wechter, our past president, personal friend, was murdered at the Jewish Federation of Great Seattle in 2006. That seemed like a long time ago, but it also seemed just like it was yesterday. But if you didn't have a chance to know about it, this was something that happened in our own community. And from that point on for us in the King County, Greater Seattle area, it's become a totally different world. And that is why when you come into the service Friday night, Saturday, or anytime we gather, there'll be a guard out there. And that is universal for virtually every synagogue in the United States and perhaps throughout the world. We feel that we're under attack, and it's a problem. Now, there's some positives, though, because I always want to focus on the positives. This past week, I was invited by a group of churches in South King County to come and speak to them by Zoom, virtually, to talk about anti-Semitism and what they could do about it. Now, that's a really positive thing. Not that obviously we're concerned from a self-interest point of view. When people outside our community are cognizant of this problem and they want to be part of the solution. And that really touched me very deeply. So we gathered on Wednesday night, quite a few people on this Zoom call, and they asked me to talk about anti-Semitism. And they wanted to know what we can do to support you as Jews, what we can do as churches, as non-Jews, Christians, to overcome and to alleviate. And I said, I have to tell you, we're struggling. We don't have any easy answers for you. But the very fact that you have called upon me as a rabbi to come and speak to you speaks volumes. And it really touches me that you want to know how we feel and talk about anti-Semitism. That really, just by doing that, they are making a big difference. So I said, I began by saying, at the Passover Seder, we always ask 4 questions. And I'm going to put 4 questions to you, I said to them tonight. 4 questions. And I try to answer them and talk about them with the group. Here are the 4 questions. This is the big one. The first question. Is anti-Semitism inevitable? Or is there a possibility that we can alleviate it and eliminate it? And that's a big question because it's been around for such a long time. But can we imagine a world where there isn't anti-Semitism? And of course, we can talk about other types of prejudice as well, but they wanted me to talk about anti-Semitism. Can we imagine a world where there isn't a rise in anti-Semitism, but there a decrease, that there isn't anti-Semitism? Now that would be a great thing. We have a sense that we are going towards a more just world, and we're doing whatever we can. But I said to them, we need you. We are small, but you're large. You can be part of the solution, and you are part of the solution. And then the second question is, and this is a tough one, why is there anti-Semitism? What is the roots of anti-Semitism? Where did it go from? And to that answer, I said, a lot of people say, well, it goes back to 2,000 years, but I say it goes back way before that. And I tell them the story of the book of Esther about Haman. And one man with evil in his heart singled out one Jew who would not bow down, Mordecai, and from that, all the Jews of Persia were put under the king's order that all of them would be killed. And I said to them, this is how it goes. It's not inevitable, but it starts with one person not liking a Jew, and then it goes to not liking all Jews, and then hating all Jews, and then demonizing all Jews, and then isolating all Jews, and inevitably murdering all Jews. That's a straight line. There's no such thing as anti-Semitism that is harmless. All anti-Semitism is dangerous. And if you hear somebody say something negative about Jews, if you don't speak up, you're going to be part of that inexorable path that would lead to the Holocaust. And Elie Wiesel said, the only thing necessary for the Holocaust, the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good people to remain silent. That is the answer. Good people cannot remain silent. And then I asked another question. Is Christianity, in part, to blame for anti-Semitism? Because I was speaking to a group of people in churches, and I had to say yes. In some ways, we can trace some aspects of anti-Semitism to Christianity. And I cited different things throughout history, from the beginning of Christianity to the Crusades, the Inquisition. I said, I want to say to you, I love Christians and I love Christianity as a rabbi. There's so many positive things. But if you're going to be honest as Christians, you have to recognize that part of the history of anti-Semitism can be traced to some of the teachings of Christianity from the very beginning, from the New Testament onward. That was a painful thing to say, but I had to say that. When you hear the word Christ killer, desecration of the host, blood libel, all the things that are associated with Christianity, you have to say there is some responsibility there. Doesn't mean it's inevitable, but you have to recognize it. And finally, the toughest question, which is almost impossible. How did this lead to the Shoah, the Holocaust, the murder of 6 million Jews? And I said, we'll never be able to answer that question. But what we have to do is make sure it never, ever happens again. And so this is a tough issue. It's also so important that we as Jews talk among ourselves and work together with our community, with our political leaders, with our civic leaders, with our religious leaders, to work on the issue of anti-Semitism. Something that we have to do. It's not that we should focus on it all the time, but now is a time when the rising of anti-Semitism, we have to be aware of it. And so, getting back to that, the Fiddler on the Roof, what was that really about? It was about, in part, the experience of anti-Semitism affecting a small Jewish community in Eastern Europe, a little shtetl, and at the end of this play, they have to leave. They have to leave their home. They're isolated and they're not welcome. And the end of the play is so powerful because it's, it has the joyous elements of Fiddler, but the end of the play, all the people, particularly in the film version, it's very poignant. Everybody takes their little possessions in the Torah, and they have to leave their home. Why? One reason: because they're Jews. And that's the sad story that we tell, but I want to leave you with a positive. A positive. Together, we can make a difference. Never fail to speak up when you hear somebody say something negative about Jews. There's nothing innocuous. You have to speak up. Work with your fellow Jews and work with your fellow non-Jews to combat anti-Semitism and be a force for good. And remember what Elie Wiesel said: the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good people to remain silent. And that's what I leave you with tonight. Do not be silent. My friend, thank you for listening. Thank you, Irene, for helping us. Aleinu l'shabeach, remembering our loved ones. On page 282. Let's rise if we're able to do so. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, latet milav yoseh b'reishit. Shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. Shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gohor aleinu ke'kol hamonam. V'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim. Lifnei melech malkei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, v'melech al kol haaretz. V'yom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Let's be seated now for a moment, calling to mind our loved ones, some of whom we have listed here on our congregational list for the yard sites during this particular Shabbat of Chukat Balak. I'm going to read the names, and then I'll have a chance for other people to say names of people either who have died recently or have a yard site they want to commemorate. Amy Azen, Margaret Halila Benveniste, Ruth Coombs, Bernice Friedland, Tressa Gervin, Muriel Ella Jones, Daniel Coffer, Julie Kreisman, Abe Lavis, Esther Levy, Leah Linick, James McGinnis, Louis Morris, and Hilda Weil. Remain standing if you have a yard site. Anybody else want to stand up and say a name of a loved one before we say the Kaddish? Go ahead, my friend. My heart's with you. Remain standing. Who else wants to say a name of a loved one or a friend? Yard site or a recent passing? Just want to recognize Francis here. Think about your Phil. What a beautiful guy. All right, let's all rise together if we can. This is a chance to say the Kaddish. The Kaddish is found, as you know, 292, 294. 294. 294. Let's recite the Kaddish together, those who wish. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yolma Divira Kirute, V'yamlik Malkute, V'chayachon, V'yomechon, V'chayedechol Beit Yisrael, V'alav Izman Kori V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mubarak, L'olam Omei Omaya, Yit Barak, V'yishtabak, V'yit Pa'ar, V'yit Romam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Adar, V'yit Alev, V'yit Aval, Shemei Dekucha Berichu, Le'elamin Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiram B'yalma V'imru Amen. Hey Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. God, source of peace, and peace to all who are mourning, all who are remembering, here and everywhere. Amen. Let's remain standing. Irene, do you want to say a word or two, or you're just happy to be where you are? Come on up. I don't care. Oh, it's fine, gentlemen. Thank you.
First of all, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight and participating. Thank you so much to Rabbi Jim and Julie Morell for coming back for a fabulous encore presentation at the temple that they helped build. We have a lot of things coming up in the future. I think everybody got the message that the times for services are going to be changing starting in July, and we will be going to a 7 o'clock start time except for the third Shabbat davening team, which will remain at 6:15. Tomorrow there will be services in the morning with Rabbi Mali and the student rabbi. Torah study will be happening as usual. Next week is going to be Shabbat at the park. There will be a potluck at 6 o'clock and the service at 7 o'clock, and that will be at Lewis Creek Park. So hope to see everybody there. Thanks again for coming, and please join us for the Oneg.
All right, you did a great job. While you're up there, take the little thing off the challah. Let's say the motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Take a little bit of challah. We'll have some more at the Oneg. Everybody, so happy to see you. Let's all say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the Oneg, and thanks for being here. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, God. Yeah, it's good, Ed. You're really taking the leadership. Good man.